All right, welcome back. Today we're tackling a massive challenge for any content creator. How do you take something that's, well, kind of boring and turn it into viral content? Let's get right into it.
So imagine this. You get handed a stack of dry internal company documents or maybe some dense policy proposals. Not exactly thrilling stuff, right? So the question is, how in the world do you unlock the ideas in there and turn them into something that could actually go viral on, say, TikTok?
Okay, so this is what we're working with today. A whole bunch of workplace topics, all from some German source documents. We're talking company phones, dress codes, night shifts, working from home. You can see why this is a tough one. It's all important information for sure, but it's not exactly exciting. Our job is to find the excitement that's hiding in there.
And here's our game plan for how we're going to do it. We're going to walk through this 6-step process, starting with the core problem all the way to a finished video concept. This is literally the blueprint for turning dry docs into viral gold.
So the fundamental challenge is trying to bridge this massive gap, right? On one side, you have dense informational text. On the other, you have the world of short-form video, which runs on pure emotion and speed. On the surface, they're complete opposites.
So what's the secret? Well, you have to stop looking at the literal words on the page and start searching for the human story that's hiding underneath. See, every policy, every rule, every single debate is really about people. So the first step is always to ask, what is this really about?
For instance, our source documents, they bring up the idea of company-issued phones.
Then they talk about flexible hours instead of your standard 9 to 5.
And they even get into the whole debate around open plan offices. Now, on the surface, these just seem like a bunch of separate business decisions. But what's the common thread that connects them all?
And here it is. The universal theme is what we're calling the great work-life negotiation. And what's so powerful about this is that it reframes everything. All of a sudden, it's not about phones or office layouts anymore. It's about the constant battle between our professional lives and our personal lives. Now, that is a story that everyone can relate to.
Okay, so now that we've got our big, powerful theme, we need a hook. In the world of social media, you have, maybe 3 seconds to make someone stop scrolling? So your hook needs to be sharp, it needs to be relatable, and honestly, maybe a little provocative.
So let's take that company phone topic. Instead of some bland intro, we reframe it using our theme. This question immediately creates conflict. It hints that this so-called perk actually has a hidden price. It grabs your attention and makes you go, wait, what is the real cost?
You know, great stories aren't just a list of facts. They are built on tension. And the easiest way to create tension is to highlight a conflict. For these workplace topics, the conflict is almost always baked right in. You've got the promise of a benefit versus its potential downside.
And this slide illustrates that core conflict perfectly, pulled straight from those documents. On one side, you've got the perk. A free phone saves you money. Awesome. On the other side, the price. That nagging feeling that you're never truly off the clock. That tension between your desk and your dinner table, that's what makes the story so compelling.
So this gives us a simple but really repeatable story arc for any viral content. First, you introduce the perk. Second, you reveal the hidden cost. And third, you end with a direct question. This simple structure is what turns passive viewers into active participants in the conversation.
All right, we have our theme, we have our hook, and we have our story. Now let's talk about the visuals. The key here is to communicate the feeling of the story using really nice cinematic stock footage and modern graphics.
So for part 1, the perk, the visuals have to feel positive and aspirational. You know, think clean, bright shots. Somebody excitedly unboxing a new piece of tech. You want to capture that feeling of satisfaction, of getting a benefit. This is the gift.
And then for part 2, the hidden cost, we pivot hard. The visuals get darker, they get more stressful. The phone isn't a gift anymore, it's an intrusion. It's that phone buzzing on the nightstand. It's that notification that pulls someone's attention away from their family. It has become a leash. That contrast is what creates that real emotional impact. Okay, so now we get to combine all of these elements, the theme, the hook, the narrative, and the visuals, into one single cohesive concept for a short-form video.
And here it is. We're calling the concept the golden handcuffs. The hook immediately poses that central conflict. The key points are that simple pro versus con from our source material. The visual style uses really fast cuts to create that feeling of whiplash between the perk and the price. And that call to action is simple and powerful. It forces the audience to take a side.
This is a complete recipe for a potentially viral video, and it all came from a few paragraphs in a German workplace doc.
So that's the process. We went from dry text to a dynamic, emotional story. The real takeaway here is that any topic, no matter how dry it seems, has a human conflict right at its core. You just have to find it. So think about your own world. What's a common, everyday debate? Open offices, endless meetings, dress codes. What would you turn into a viral story?